Howdy, howdy, guys. We have something different today. We're going back to the alternator rebuild. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to reconvert an alternator. This one's already been converted, but I managed to get all the bridge rectifier and stuff, and I found all that, so I'll take you through the process. Okay, so uh, a new subscriber of mine is trying to reconvert an alternator, and I think it could be a truck alternator. And as you know, if you've mucked around with these alternators, some of them have 3 wires coming out of the field wires here, and some of them have 6. Um, all of my ones only had 3 coming out of them, but you can make a regen unit coming back out of the other existing 3. So as you're burning along, you could have 3 one-way blocking diodes going back to your battery bank. See, this one's only got 3. If I could face this up, you'll see just 3 wires. Now, this is coming off the outside wire stator, and I did have some clips on here, which are just normal spade connector clips like this, and I popped them on here and then crimped them on and soldered them in, because the controller has the opposite, has the connectors on there. And you can buy these in little packs like this, 10 for $6. And so the thickness wire that I got here is the wire that's inside your wall. Actually, it is really thick, and it's actually thicker gauge than like a normal extension cord inside wire. Now I flared one of these out like that so you could see, and with them all closed in, they just fit in these connectors. Now, I don't buy the red connectors because they actually have smaller holes in them. I just go all straight for blue ones, and then I'll colour them with my tape afterwards. So, okay, so getting back to this, guys, that this bridge rectifier here went to, well, the 3 wires here actually went to here, here, and here. And this is the part that you don't need no more. This is the part that you have to take out. And all bridge rectifiers look different in alternators. So here's another one. And you can see, if I hone in on there, my camera's not the best. Okay, I've ripped out the one-way blocking diodes, but this one had one-way blocking diodes in it as well. Heat sinks in it. Okay, so so once you take this out, this is what you're left with. The 3 wires. You put the spade connectors on here. I just want to take you a little bit further inside, because there's a bit more work that has to be done internally to the center mag here. So if you can see 2 wires poking out here, it's the same thick gauge wires that like that thick stuff. Wouldn't want to go any bigger, because then you just run into problems with trying to fit stuff in. And this is a good gauge to go. This is the proper gauge for the actual 10 or the 9 ampere batteries that you can get. See the bolts here, this is 9 ampere 12 volt, but they charge up to 13.5, so that's why it can go over 72 volts, right up to 80. I charge mine right up to 85, and they settle back down to 80, and as long as it's under 80, a 1000 watt controller at 48 volts will still run, and you get full potential out of that controller, speed wise, distance, and yeah, just a lot more power. So if you can see these wires, they go to these brushes down here, and there's 2 slip rings down right on the back. You can see those right on the back. So a wire is directly soldered to each brush. One is positive and the other one is negative. It doesn't matter which way around positive and negative is on there, because it doesn't change the rotation of it. All it does is just change the rotation from north here to south, to south to north. But it does not change the rotation and which way the alternator is going to be spinning. What determines that is the outside field wires here. Okay guys, so this one here came out of a truck. Okay, so in the back here we're running a slip ring, and I didn't like it because it created so much heat and everything. If you see that, had a big old pump on the back there, like a sludge pump. So I didn't run it. I think the inside wires here are kind of knackered and a bit too old. And this thing, it went for a little while and then it didn't want to go. Okay, but if I used any less batteries than the 9 ampere batteries on this center mag, to power up to make a magnetic field for the center, because it hasn't got permanent magnets, that if I used any less, like this is a 7 amp hour one, that it starts actually just sitting there jerking, and it won't properly spin when you put power to this through your controller. You know, it won't, the power from this won't mesh to the power of this properly. So I'm going to show you just right here and now on the electric carcass what actually happens when you put no power to the center part of this mag and just power from the controller like that to the outside field wires. Okay, so now we'll just flick this on and we'll see how much volts we got. We got 75.9, and the mag with 24 volts. That's two of these batteries in series. See the link? In series, it's still 9 amp hours, but at 24 volts to the center mag. It's way better, and I'll show you why. I have a chart, and it works out how much wattage you can actually get out of these motors for whatever amperage they are. So, okay, this is off. The center power is off. Now, if I hit the throttle now, just with the outside field wires going, this thing, look at this, it just sits there. Hear that? It didn't like it. It'll sit there and just jerk. But it's the same thing when you have lack of power to the center. It'll do the same. It'll just sit there and jerk. Now, this is on. I have a full-on 24 volts of power going to this thing. Now I have to sit on it when I rat pack the throttle because it'll just fly out of my hands. But yet again, there we go. And she's off, right? I'll go around here, and I'll put it up on the stand for a second. And put it up on the stand, and I'll see if I can lean it over just a little bit. Okay, here we go. Woo. Yeah, so this is actually quite a small alternator. It's only 55 amps, but I'm running it on a 1000 watt controller at a 48 volt controller, but I've ramped it right up to 80. These capacitors that are inside them, they are rated at 80 watts of power. Before, that's how much you can put into them before these things, they have a protector circuit cutout switch in them once they reach too much voltage, and the throttle won't work if it goes past 80. But you drop under 80 and it'll work. So let's go and check out something else, guys. I hope this answered a few questions for you guys. These batteries are $50 each online, and this one was about the same, but go for the 9 amp hour ones. You definitely need more amps. So I have a sheet in here, guys, that shows you an equation. Okay, here we go. The alternator carcass bike is a 50 amp alternator, right? Times the 24 volts that I put to the center mag, and this is what it comes out as. It equals 1320 watts. Okay, let's go back down to the backtrack. We have a 110 amp alternator on there, times 24 volts to the center mag, and this is the outcome, 2640 watts. Coming back down to the back lowrider, which is my bigger bike, running a 90 amp alternator times 24 to the center mag, and that one is pushing 2160 watts. Coming back down to the electric cockroach, we have a 100 amp alternator running on 24 volts once again to the center mag, and we times that by the 24 equals 2,400. No wonder that thing's a little rocket. Look at that. Whoo, 2,400. Man, that's cool. Look at that battery voltage. Yeah. So yeah, guys, I hope this gives you some idea. So on alternators and stuff, guys, I have a lot of all my tests written down and the top speeds of what these things can do as well, and on the voltages that I tried them out on, guys. And let's have a look here for a start. Okay, we have the CAF racer bike, which is the carcass bike. That's a mini electric alternator CAF racer bike that I tried to make. So on the 45 amp alternator motor, we pulled 36 Ks on 48 volts of power on that 1000 watt controller. Now we're actually doing close to 50 now that we ramped it close up to 80. So we won't look at those because those are DC ones. And this is the copper cockroach one. What it done on 48 volts on a 1000 watt controller, it done 46 Ks, but it's doing well over 50 something 5 or something now. It's doing a lot more. So this is early tests. And then we go down to the vintage lowrider bike, this one here, which was 1000 watts at 60 volts. The speed gave me 43 kilometers. Yeah, but it does way more than that now because I ramped up the power and gave it a 3000 watt controller, and now it does 73 Ks, guys. And I think the first off test on the alternator trike, we had the 3000 watt controller, which is in the back vintage bike now. So yeah, we pulled there 67.3 kilometers on 72 volts. Yeah, but I redone a test and I hit 73 volts on a 3000 watt controller on 100 volts. So it's got potential. But anyways, guys, cool. I'm gonna have to get on with putting the hitches on the to take the trailer on the electric carcass bike. So I'm gonna probably get on with putting little tabs here and having a little hitch going around for the back trailer so that we can see what the distance on 3 lots of 72 volts of batteries is going to do with the small 55 amp alternator on this carcass bike. So yeah, how are we for time? We're at 12 minutes. This is the longest video ever, guys. Here is another brushless little scooter, 36 volt. I just want to show you something very quickly here, that some people may end up with these batteries out of these scooters, and they think that these scooters batteries are going to be cool because they're, oh, look at that, ramps. It's a 36 volt battery, but only 4 amps. If you can see that, it's only 4 amps. So 4 amps ain't going to get you very far. It takes 2 of these packs just to add up to, what 3 of these batteries joined together would produce. So I know these are lead acid, and this whole pack is about the weight of this one, but these are powerful little batteries. So you can't really go using these on alternators because they'll just burn up, they'll crap out. These wires are too thin and they'll burn up. They just haven't got enough amperage power, guys. Amperage power. So yeah, cool, guys. I'll see you in the next vid coming up. Big hi to all my new subscribers, guys, and I hope this answered a lot of questions. Happy building. Cool.